Thank you for joining us to discuss the Bill of Rights, which is really important for us now. As I'm sure you all know, a very educated...
I'm here!
Excuse me?
I'm here to assemble.
Oh, could you please explain yourself a little bit more? I was trying to...
I just discovered that we have freedom of assembly. So I'm here to assemble.
Well, welcome.
Thanks. Feels really good.
So that you're actually right, Dot. That what your name again is?
Dot dash.
Oh, a dot dash.
Yeah, hi.
I was calling you Dot because I saw the dots, but where's the dashes?
Whoops.
Well, that was, uh-oh.
Dots and dashes, just as you requested.
Thank you very much.
So anyways, I found out about this whole freedom of assembly thing.
And you're here to assemble.
I know. And I thought it would be so cool if I assembled on TV, because then I could be assembled with everybody at home, even if we're not in the same room. Technology.
Dot, I think you're getting to the heart of, we were going to do the Bill of Rights, and this is the one of the heart of the First Amendment, freedom to assemble.
Yes.
Yes. Now, do you know what that means politically? If you
What freedom of to assemble means politically?
Yes, because these are Bill of
Oh,
Rights.
it means that if it's voting day, then you have the ability to have a really long line and waiting if you didn't get enough voting machines.
We are free to do that. That's true. It would be nicer to have more. But this also, freedom of assembly means if you don't like anything that's happening in this country that the government is doing,
Yeah.
you can get together with your friends,
Yeah.
and even people you don't know, and say...
Wait, you can get together with people you don't know?
You can even get together with people you don't know.
You
You'd like that, Dot,
like a dating service?
Something like that, Dot. Yes, you could.
That's cool. I didn't know there was a dating service in the United States government.
Well, let's say people were fighting a war, like they're fighting a war in Iraq now.
That's really different than dating.
Yes, very good, Dot.
Oh.
And if you don't want people to fight the war,
Yeah.
you want the president is going to send more troops, and you want him to send less troops.
That's a good idea.
Yes, because a very good idea.
Hey, did you tell him that idea?
No, but we can get together. Freedom of assemble means that we can get together and march and say, bring some more troops home.
So they can assemble here?
They can assemble here, exactly.
Oh, then we can all be assembled together.
Yes, so you really,
okay,
you're
I'll
really
go assemble right now.
Okay, good, thank you. Well, that was a vivid example of, a very vivid example of part of the First Amendment. We're going to attempt to go through all 10 amendments to the Bill of Rights. As you remember, when the states ratified the Constitution, they said we have to make sure this new government is not so powerful that it'll abuse its powers, and so they were promised that there would be 10 amendments to the Constitution, and we've just discussed the first one.
I think they promised there would be 10 amendments because that's all the numbers they could get up to counting on their fingers.
Excuse me, could you please introduce yourself to me, let alone the audience and the TV?
Oh, my name is Primrose. Thank you for having me.
Were you invited?
Of course, on the freedom of assembly, everyone's always invited. If you're one of those people and you think you never get invited to any parties, you should know that there's freedom of assembly, so you're always invited somewhere, even if you don't know where it is right now.
So I gather you're from England?
Yes, I'd like to become an American citizen. And so I heard I had to know the Bill of Rights, so I saw that you were demonstrating the Bill of Rights, and I thought I might as well come and learn them from you because you look so smart.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Flattery will get you amendment number 1 at least.
Oh, you look very smart, and your hair is combed in an attractive fashion. Can we get to amendment 1 now?
Yes. So the beginning of the First Amendment, perhaps the most important thing, or one of the most important things, is it says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion.
You have a very good memory, Primrose.
Well, I guess that means if anyone's established a religion, Congress shall make no laws about it. Oh, that means people can worship whatever they want.
Yes.
Oh.
Very good, Primrose.
Even me.
Yes, you could worship. Some people even are worshiping something very peculiar on the internet nowadays.
What's that?
The flying spaghetti monster. People are actually worshiping that.
Flying spaghetti. Someone's worshipping a
You
flying...
can. You're free to do
How
that.
can you worship a flying monster?
You're free to do that if you want to in this country. Or you can really worship.
How do you do that? Do you all grab on and fly behind? I mean, what's the protocol?
I don't really know much about this religion, but it was spreading
I'm
on the
going to
internet.
go look it up.
Okay, thank you. Well, we're learning two of the essential elements of the First Amendment. Freedom to assemble, and Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, meaning that no one could say this is a Christian country or a Jewish country or a Muslim country or any particular religion. So this is one of the hearts of the Bill of Rights. And the next phrase in Amendment number 1, Congress cannot...
I am so ready to assemble.
Oh, good.
I was missing the... I was all by myself for a while. I wasn't assembled with anyone.
Dot,
What?
we're talking about another part of the Amendment number 1 now.
You stopped talking about assembly?
At least for a while. See if you, because don't forget, you wanted to, yes?
Does that mean you feel fully assembled and you're ready to move on?
Yes, I
Wow,
feel-
you've really
yes.
grown as a person.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So Congress can't prohibit the free exercise of religion. That means you can worship whatever you want to.
You can't prohibit the free exercise of religion?
No, you can.
Oh, that means yoga is totally legal?
Yes, exactly. You got it. You got it.
You can do-
Very good.
Oh,
Or
thanks.
Tai Chi, whatever. Yeah, Congress can't say no yoga. Because in some countries they do. China stopped the Buddhist sect from being Buddhist and just sent the police in to stop them from worshiping their religion.
Well, why?
Because they were afraid that they would be so strong that they would assemble and maybe do something against the communist government in China.
Yeah, yoga never hurt anybody, well, except if you get a pulled muscle.
Well, this was Buddhism that they were doing. Do you understand Buddhism? You don't really need to for this. It's a particular
Can you get a
religion.
pulled muscle if you do Buddhism?
Not usually, because usually you're sitting and meditating when you're doing Buddhism.
Oh, that sounds very safe.
Yes, but not safe. Not safe if you're in China. But in the United States, you are safe, and you're in the United States now.
That means I can do Buddhism here.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yes, or yoga. So I think you understand the heart of the beginning of the First Amendment, and you've got freedom of assembly. Now we will go to Congress cannot abridge the freedom of speech.
Congress cannot abridge the freedom of speech.
Yes.
That means if I'm speaking and you're speaking also,
Like
then there's
now, yes.
a bridge between
bridge
us.
between us.
And Congress can't take it away because we're so bonded by our intelligent use of words.
That really is a very poetic way of understanding
Thanks.
no abridgment of freedom of speech. I really can't say anything better than that.
You can't?
Not
Does that
really.
mean our bridge is broken if you can't speak anymore?
Oh, well, I guess I can say something more.
You need to reestablish this bridge. Maybe we need to go out for federal funding to reestablish this bridge.
I'm going to give you a hard question. This is in front of the Supreme Court. Do you think people should be allowed to yell fire in a crowded television studio?
Well, if there's a fire, they better.
And if there's no fire? There's no fire and there's lots of people and one exit or two.
Well, I'll go look and see if there's a fire.
Well, you're leaving me alone with this. Well, we seem to have a lot of visitors in the show. So when they were discussing freedom of speech in front of the Supreme Court, Oliver Wendell Holmes, I believe, said freedom of speech cannot be abridged unless there's a clear and present danger that the freedom of speech would clearly and presently endanger someone. And he gave
That's a movie. You're talking about the entertainment industry, aren't you? You're supposed to be talking about the Bill of Rights, and you're talking about the entertainment industry.
No, we were talking about there are certain limitations on freedom of speech, Primrose.
There are?
Yes.
Like what?
As I was saying, you cannot yell fire in a crowded studio.
It says that in the Bill of Rights.
No, but people had to understand that the
Wait a minute, that means you can say whatever you want, but there's all these caveats about things
yes,
you can't do.
because you can't endanger people.
I
can't say everybody in the studio, let's jump on Primrose because she's from another country and we don't want immigrants. I can't say that. Because people might do that. There's some very strong people in this audience. They might do that. And so if I'm endangering you
Are
by
you
my
endangering
speech.
me right now?
No, that was just an example.
Well, you got to try harder if you're going to endanger me. I don't feel endangered in the least. But try it again.
We'll get to other amendments where we thought might be
Why
clear.
don't you at least try to look threatening or something?
Okay. I think we should.
Why don't you try baring your teeth also?
Okay, I think
Eh?
we should
All right, that's better.
choke.
Oh, cute.
So you understand? We're not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to say if I clearly and presently endanger Primrose. I'm not. That's a limitation in freedom of speech. But other than a clear and present danger, other than when your speech is a clear and present danger to harm someone, Congress cannot stop us from freely speaking. That's why one woman whose son was killed in Iraq, Cindy Sheehan, is free to camp out in front of George Bush's ranch in Crawford with many other people, and free to say, I want to speak to George Bush. This is part of Amendment 1 to our Constitution.
Does that mean that if I put up a tent, I get to speak to George Bush too?
You can do that in
I
many
didn't
places.
realize he responded to camping equipment.
Did you know that many people now,
What?
many people around the country
Yeah.
are gathering freely to assemble
Oh, yeah.
to protest the fact that George Bush is going to send more American soldiers to Iraq. Did you know that?
Oh, no, do you think they need live music to make it more fun?
They could do that. Yes, you could join them. I'm sure you would.
I could sing.
Yes.
I love singing.
And sometimes people are doing what's called civil disobedience. They're planning on civil disobedience. You have any idea what that means?
No, what's
It means breaking the law because you don't like, you're willing to go to jail because you don't like what the government is doing. So one example.
Wait. You're breaking the law because you don't like what the government is doing, but you could do that uncivilly too.
Yes, but civil disobedience. Yes, no, we're not doing it that way though. We're doing civilly that. So that
I
means.
scared you, didn't I?
I was pretending to be scared. So, for example, there was some people went to a nuclear silo where there's a big missile with a nuclear bomb on it.
That's really dangerous. You really got to protect yourself when you go to a nuclear silo.
Exactly, and these people came and they beat on the missile and they poured their own blood on it.
I wouldn't beat on a missile.
And they had to go. They were sent to jail because that's civil disobedience because they were breaking. the law.
Is that because they got the missiles dirty and no one was there to clean up?
Yes, and they managed it.
You
yes.
always got to travel with Kleenex.
But we're going to move on, Dot, because there's 10 amendments, and we're still on amendment number 1.
Oh.
So
This is complicated.
Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of press.
That means that the press can do whatever they want. They can go out into the lands, report on things, whether they're true or not.
Well, close.
Oh, that was close. Close is close.
You
is
can't
good.
say untrue things about it. I can't say that Dot is a enemy combatant.
What? That's not true.
Right, exactly. So I
I
can't.
mean,
write-
I did try to maraud you before, but
Yeah.
I was kidding.
I understand. So I'm not allowed to say things again that endanger you because the Constitution is for the general welfare of all of us.
It is?
Yes. Yeah, and welfare is not, faring well.
The Constitution applies to everybody?
Yes, it begins, we the people of the United States. All of us. We the people of the United States.
What about the people who aren't United States citizens? Does it apply to them?
No, but when they come here, they thought it was applied to them, but we've decided now, apparently, our government is putting many people who've come to visit us in jail.
Oh.
And some people even that are United States citizens.
Well, that's not very hospitable.
No, that's not.
They should put out little sandwiches instead without the crusts on them, and they should also, make sure everybody has water.
Good. That would be a much kinder thing. And one of these American citizens that was put into jail, Jose Padilla, has been in all alone in a room with no windows
That's
and
terrible.
no one to talk to day after day after day.
But wait a minute, how can you do... I'm confused.
And you're an American citizen too, aren't you?
Yeah.
They could even do that to you. You could say you're an enemy combatant.
Well, yeah, but I thought in the Bill of Rights it said that you're supposed to be nice to people.
Not quite that, but something like that.
Well,
yeah.
what's the something like?
I'm going to hold off for a while because that's other amendments, but we will get to them soon. Can you wait?
Oh, I'll go into my waiting posture. I love waiting. It's so fun.
Okay. So we've really summed up amendment number 1. I'm just going to read it once more just so we can all get it. It's the perhaps the most important amendment. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of press, or the freedom of speech, or the right of people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And if either Dodd or Primrose come back, I might quiz them, I'm a teacher, to see how well they've learned this. But we're now, Primrose, I was just telling our vast studio audience,
Yes.
I wondered if you could, in your own inimitable words.
Inimitable? Well, that's nice of you.
Yes, thank you. I wonder if you could tell our audience as much as you can about the First Amendment.
All right, the First Amendment is quite vast. It's got in it things like you can do whatever you want except endanger other people, and also if you endanger other people, you should stop.
That was good. What about religion?
Oh, that's right. You can worship a flying spaghetti monster if you want.
Yes.
Or me.
And can the government stop you from worshiping?
No. You can just go on about it. Can you try to convert the government to be a flying spaghetti monster nation?
Not the whole nation. That's part of the First Amendment.
But you could go out converting people to the flying spaghetti religion one by one.
One by one, exactly.
It could take a lot of time.
Yeah, it would take a lot of time, yes.
I think it's time prohibitive.
And we are allowed to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Do you understand what that means?
A redress of grievances?
Yes.
Oh, that must mean if the government does something bad, then they want to cover it up by wearing a different jacket so no one recognises them.
This is very, very, I'm sure because we have a brilliant audience here, they can see how poetic and insightful your answers are. Because that's really true. If the government is covering something up and we don't like it, like during Richard Nixon, when he was president, was help people go into people's houses and steal papers and other things.
And he wasn't invited.
And he wasn't.
That's cheeky.
And people could petition the government to stop him from this cover-up.
No one wanted Richard Nixon to go into their house.
Not without asking.
Well, I mean, if it's just one guy who wants to go and get into everyone's house, I suppose, if he had someone following him around.
Would you like the government to go into your house?
I thought we were just talking about Richard Nixon.
Would you like anybody to go into your house without asking?
Well, if they were nice. Maybe if they brought me a present.
I see.
Or perhaps if, maybe if they were a salesperson. Oh, if they were a vacuum salesperson, they could come in and vacuum my carpet. And even if I didn't buy the vacuum, then my carpet would be cleaner.
Yes, what if they come in and want to steal your hat?
No, you don't steal my hat.
So those you don't want, right?
No, absolutely not.
Right, so if...
Oh, actually, though, if they were a hat salesman and brought me a new hat and they want to take my old hat, I think I might allow that.
Well, thank you.
It seems like there's a fine line between when you want someone in your house and when you don't.
And you're the one who can decide that, not the government.
I get to decide who's in my house?
Yes.
Really? I'd have to tell that to the mice.
Okay, I think we've got the heart of Amendment 1. We're now moving on to Amendment number 2. The heart of Amendment number 2, very important to many people in this country, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So if we want to protect ourselves, we can have guns, rifles, and the government cannot tell us that we can't have these guns. This is a very American amendment, which was very...
What if you want to defend yourself with flowers that other people are allergic to?
If that's your way of bearing arms, you can, remember, you can't endanger. You can bear them, but you can't endanger anyone for no good reason.
Wait a minute. You can carry a gun, but you can't endanger anybody?
Right.
How are you going to do that? I mean, just by carrying a gun, you're endangering
Well, some people think if they have a gun in the house, if someone comes in and wants to steal your nose... Ha! Exactly.
I know you're allergic to roses.
Exactly. You understand. You are brilliant. Don't let people tell you differently. Though.
I'm suspicious of people who give a lot of compliments.
I know. But I put the other part of it. I said, don't let people tell you differently. So that's kind of, you could look at it as...
You're trying to pull a fast one on me and get my hat.
Okay, we are now moving on to Amendment number 3. The government cannot make soldiers go live in your house. if you don't want them to.
There seem to be a lot of people that want to come over.
Yes.
The topic seems to come up over and over again. Maybe people are lonely at home and they need to get out more.
But if there's a war in this, like if we're having a civil war,
Yeah?
and the government can then say, we need, if you have any spare beds, we need them for our soldiers. And if they do it very legally, would you like that?
Oh, well, is there like a whole list of which soldiers you could have come over?
I'm not sure you could choose, but perhaps you could try.
Oh, are they going to be like busy all the time, or they can hang out a little bit?
Dot, you're getting at the deep heart of this. We're ready to move to amendment number 4.
Wow.
Which is close to this. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers. So I'm secure, so you're not allowed to take these from me.
Well, you have a paper and you're secure, and I don't have any paper, so I'm insecure.
Well, you can have.
Well, I better go get some papers.
You can have one.
Oh, wow, I feel so much better now. You know, sometimes it just has
And I'm not allowed to take it away like that.
Hey!
You say, that's what it means. You're allowed to be government can't come and take that from you.
Wait a minute. So people are allowed to be secure in their person?
Yes.
So that means that if someone is feeling insecure, then it's the government's responsibility to give them free therapy until they feel better.
Well, if you're old enough, like and when you get to be 65, Dot, like me.
You're 65? Can you believe this man is 65 years old?
Dot, when you get to be.
Whoa.
Medicare will allow you to have some free therapy.
So that means that Medicare is required by the Bill of Rights because it makes people feel better. And it says right there in that amendment that people, what did it say?
It says that the right of the people to be secure in their persons,
Be secure
houses,
in their persons.
houses and papers. And the things you own, your flowers.
Yeah.
You can securely have them. I'm not allowed to take them from you.
But then how come you're doing it right now?
Well, you seem to have given them.
You're breaking the law.
Yes, I saw.
I'm going to alert the authorities.
Yes, I'm afraid. Oh. Well, I think we're getting, thanks to these wonderful clowns, we're getting a very vivid understanding, I can see, of what the Bill of Rights means. Now, the government also can't unreasonably search you unless there's a warrant to show that you've really committed a crime or we think you've committed a crime. And that is the heart of Amendment number 4. So I can't, oh my, Primrose, you're here? Are you trying to search me, Primrose?
Of course. You look very suspicious.
See, I can show you. See, I'm not allowed to search.
Wait a minute, you're searching. I'm
Exactly.
searching you. You can't search me when I'm searching
Well,
you.
I can search-
Searching is a one-way directional activity. It's not to be shared.
Who says?
You believe in cooperative searching? That's naughty. I'm not staying around here.
I think we're getting the heart of that also. Now we're moving on to Amendment number 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury. We can't just say, which I think we're doing now, unfortunately, in our country. We can't just say, you're an enemy combatant, and we're going to put you in jail as long as we want to. Amendment number 5 says we can't do that. We need a grand jury to... Are you here for Amendment number 5, Dot, to help us understand it?
Do you need help?
I think you're so poetic and insightful in explaining.
Wow, thanks.
You are to the American people.
Yeah.
And so Amendment number 5 says...
I'm speaking to the American people.
Yes.
Right now.
Those television cameras that you're speaking to a huge audience.
Hi, Mom!
Well,
Sorry.
where does your mom live?
Texas?
Well, this doesn't quite extend that far, but this is the Boston
Never
area.
mind, Mom. So sorry.
Okay, but Amendment number 5 says that we can't say that you are a bad clown. You know, some clowns hurt people.
They do not.
They do. They slap.
Hey!
We can't say that and put you in jail unless a grand jury, like the people in this audience, say, we've seen that Dot has done very hurtful things, hitting children and other...
What?
Well, some clowns are... You're not that kind of clown, I'm sure. You're a nice clown,
Isn't
right?
there anything in the Bill of Rights about when somebody makes up untrue stories about somebody else?
You get it, Dot, you got it again. That's what Amendment 5 says.
What?
If someone makes up an untrue story and says
Yeah.
that you're a bad clown
Yeah.
and that you
Yeah.
kick
Yeah.
people...
Hey, I did not.
Yeah, I know. If they say that...
Although if you keep this up, I might.
Oh, we see.
I can't believe I just revealed my inner thoughts.
Yes.
How embarrassing.
Yes, but it might, it's okay, but if you,
Oh, fortunately, the government can't do anything about your thoughts.
if you said, I'm going,
Whoa!
if you said, I'm going, you're going to hit me.
No, I can't. I'm too nice.
Exactly, because if you said that you're going to hit me, then we could put you in jail.
Just for feeling something?
No, for saying you're going to go do it. Wouldn't you want if?
Oh, I was threatening you, wasn't
Yes,
I?
yes. So, and then we can.
I didn't realize I was so aggressive.
Well, I'm glad you're learning a lot about yourself.
You know, I didn't realize the Bill of Rights was so self-revelatory.
And so we.
I wonder if I have any other characteristics I didn't know about.
Oh, and the government, at the end of Amendment Number 5, the government cannot deprive us of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So that means that we can't lose our life, or our property, or our freedom, unless there's without due process of law, where the government would have to show in a courtroom. Oh, here comes Primrose again. This is an important one.
There was a sale on other people's freedom that the government had taken away. Is that so?
Primrose, you were also very, very wise. And so, yes, some people's freedom have been taken away.
Oh, so where did it get taken to? And were the rest of us divided up, or what?
Well, people, for example, there were many people put in Guantanamo, which is a United States prison in Cuba.
Oh, yes.
And they were accused, again, of being enemy combatants, and then they were released because there was no evidence against them.
Well, why would somebody accuse somebody of something when there's no evidence for it at all?
That's precisely good.
Well, what would make a person do that?
Good, Primrose. That's exactly why we have the Bill of Rights, because we were afraid that governments often do that.
But why?
Because if they don't like you. Maybe they don't like your hat, or they don't like what you're saying.
I think you've got something personal against my hat. It's the second time you made aggressiveness against my...
Or maybe we don't like your accent. We think you're a foreigner. Maybe we think you're a spy. Maybe you're a spy for England.
Because I was sneaking around you suspiciously before.
Yes. And if we think you're a spy...
This just goes to show you, if you're going to sneak around someone, you can't get caught.
Yes, but now you are caught because we caught you on television, Primrose.
That means I'm infamous.
Yes.
I've been waiting all my life to be infamous, and it's arrived. What a wonderful moment.
Now, because you haven't done anything...
That's dance and celebration.
Primrose, we might take you away and put you... Some bad governments will take you away and put you in jail.
Just because you're infamous?
Yes.
But infamous doesn't mean you're people think you did stuff.
Oh, good. Well, you could defend yourself. This could be your jury.
That's right, because I haven't really my arms. There they are. That means I'm innocent. See, it's like the way my hairs are aligned. You can tell my perfect innocence.
That would be one way of defending yourself, but you could also say that you really didn't do anything bad to the grand jury.
Oh, I really didn't do anything bad to the grand jury.
No, you can say to the grand jury that you didn't do anything bad to other people.
I didn't do anything bad to other people or the grand jury.
That's very important to make.
But what is this getting me now?
This means that we can't put you in jail if we couldn't.
Why would you put me in jail?
Because we don't like your accent and we're afraid you're a spy.
That's sad.
Yes, now you understand, but we can't do that.
It's perfectly nice.
I know, we can't do that because of the Bill of Rights. We can't put you in jail just because we don't like your accent and we're afraid you're a spy.
Oh, so it's like decorum.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
It's like manners.
Yes.
I didn't realise.
Yes.
Manners.
The government has to have good manners, right? Hey. That's a very beautiful way of putting it.
I don't understand how this is so. You could always tell me all these Guantanamo and people being isolated. That's not good manners.
No, exactly. And the Bill of Rights says we can't do that.
Then why did it happen?
Because sometimes governments try to do whatever they want to do just because they are.
But I thought governments were made up of the people of the country voting for things.
But sometimes the people that have power want to just do whatever have you ever wanted to do whatever you wanted to do and didn't care about what anybody else felt?
Once I wanted to run around when I was 7 years old in a tutu and roller skates, but I didn't dare.
How come?
Because it would be unseemly.
Oh, I understand. Right. But you have nice fantasies. What if somebody wants to hurt other people?
Well, why would they want to do that?
Primrose, you have too good a heart to understand that governments can really, really abuse their power and say we don't like people who have brown eyes, even if we wanted to.
I'm not doing very well. It ticks up. Everything's wrong I've got. Maybe I should try to become a citizen of a different country.
I think we're scaring our new citizens away. Well, we're ready to move to amendment number 6. But we might have, if we get a visitor, which I think we might have, just to sum up amendment number 2, 3, 4, and 5 before we get to amendment number 6. We could even ask, but amendment number 6 means, which in some ways is taken up in amendment number 5, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury.
Did you do it?
Did you hear that?
Did you do it?
A speedy and
Did you do it?
a speedy and impartial
Did you
trial?
do it?
Do what?
It.
What's it?
What you did. Did you do it?
I mean, you're
I am trying to give you a speedy and impartial trial.
Oh, I understand.
But if you don't hurry up, I'm going to start forming an opinion.
Oh, you
have to, with speedy and impartial juries, you have to go so fast that nobody has any time to have an opinion.
No, that's not quite what they mean.
Opinions are faster
But
than...
that sometimes happens, which is very bad.
You know, I have noticed that opinions sometimes are faster than the speed of light.
Yes, and that's why we have to
So how are you supposed to be impartial if an opinion could come in at any moment? People spend 30 years meditating to try to stop having opinions. How are you supposed to get a jury of a whole bunch of people not to have an opinion at the same time? That sounds really hard.
Because you have hopefully a good lawyer to defend you.
Oh.
And a good lawyer to accuse you.
Well, I think I'd go with the one who was defending me and stay away from the one who was accusing me.
But what if someone did something bad to you? Like they said you couldn't be a clown anymore.
How come every time I come and visit you, you're talking about someone doing something bad to me?
I'm just trying to show you how important the Bill of Rights is for you and for all of us.
Oh.
See, so if someone does something bad to you, like like what you're doing with your hand, let's say if they tried to hurt your finger. Right, exactly. You could call the police and you could say, I want to stop this person from hurting my fingers.
Oh, okay, I'll go do that.
Okay, so I think we understand speedy and public trial, and included this is that whoever's accused can compel witnesses to come to defend them. Amendment number 7 says, this was done 200 years ago, when there's a controversy that exceeds $20, it probably would be more now. When there's a controversy that exceeds $20, the right of trial of jury would be preserved. So if we...
Well, I just so happen to have some revolutionary money here, and it totals $20. What a coincidence.
So if I steal it from you, right?
Hi.
If I take this from you,
Yes.
you can have a jury decide that, because you have witnesses here, that I did this and this money belongs to you.
Well, of course you did it. Everyone just saw you do it on television.
Yes, you're very good at so then I'd have to give it back to you.
Oh, that worked out well, didn't it?
Yes. That you've understood very, very well.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Primrose, come back.
What?
I wanted to just ask you, because you're
going to
so
steal
good
my
at this.
money again.
No, I won't do that now, because I've
Even if I tempted you, is there anything against tempting in the Bill of Rights? Is tempting the same as endangering?
I have hard questions for you, Primrose. I hope you can try, because the audience really learns so much from you.
Really?
Now, I'll give you
I
hints.
didn't realise I was so esteemed.
Amendment number 2 has something to do with guns. Do you remember what it stands for?
Oh, yes. If you point a gun at someone, you really ought to mean it.
No, that's not quite what Amendment 2...
If you point a gun at someone, they can take it away, and then you can get a speedy trial.
Try again. It has something to do with member arms and...
If you're an exhibitionist, you're in the right country.
Well, I think I think I want Dot, because you're not, and Primrose, no offense, you're not doing too well at remembering.
I'm just a little distracted. 1,
Yes.
2, 3, 4.
Well, we'll see if Dot does any better, and we're moving on to Amendment number 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. I'm afraid when Dot comes and we tell her what some of the cruel punishments that are happening to some people that the United States is imprisoning, I wonder how she'll respond.
Hi.
You juggle very well.
Thanks. You know, it was really hard to learn that. Making somebody else learn that's a really nasty thing to do to somebody because it takes a really long time.
Oh, but you seem to enjoy it immensely.
Yeah, there was that, you know, that certain turning point.
Good. So, would you like to continue? Can I first quiz you? Because Primrose wasn't doing very well.
Oh, why don't I quiz you? That'll be more fun.
You want to quiz me?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't have my paper in front of me. That might
Oh,
be
the
hard.
power. Now, there's a certain thing in the Bill of Rights where you can just totally usurp all the power of the entire country when you got...
I'm going to sit down.
Never
Bob.
mind.
This is going to be embarrassing.
Okay. Switcho changeroo. Yeah. Amendment 3, go.
Oh, I don't get any hints. None at all.
It has
I think it has to do with
something to do-
I think you can't put soldiers in. You can't put soldiers in people's homes, right?
What if they're like really cute and nice and single?
Yes,
Oh,
we've
well,
been. But is that the heart of Amendment 3?
Yeah, good job.
Is there something at the end of Amendment 3 that I left out?
No.
That's all Amendment 3 is. We can't. Okay, good.
You're so smart
Oh,
and
thank-
brilliant, and everyone learns so much from you.
Oh, thank you, Dot.
Whoa, you're welcome. Okay. Where were we? Oh, yes, Amendment 7.
Amendment 7. Do I get any hints?
Oh, $20.
Oh, yes, that's what it is. Amendment 7. Amendment 7 is if there's, and now it might be more than that, but if there's a big controversy over
Yeah.
someone stealing money from someone else or not paying money back, there can be a jury trial.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, especially if everybody gets everything back that was theirs.
Yeah.
Okay. Amendment 8.
We didn't get to Amendment 8 yet. I think
Well, but
Amendment,
you're supposed to know what they all are.
I think Amendment 8 is no cruel and unusual. I think we're just starting it. No cruel and unusual punishment at the very end. Is that true?
That's right.
Now, do you understand what cruel and unusual punishment is?
Well, cruel and unusual punishment. Well, it doesn't sound like a good idea. That's for sure. I'd be more in favor of punishments that make people feel better eventually.
You again are getting the heart of the Bill of Rights because we're not allowed to have cruel punishments.
Well, that's a good idea.
We should have. That's why prisons are called Department of Correction runs the prisons because you're supposed to correct people without really harming them.
Oh, you mean they're not
hurting
the
them.
ones that sit around grading standardized tests?
Oh, that kind of correction you're talking
Well,
about?
it just came to mind.
Yes, I understand that. But no, in some ways, they are tested when they're put in jail to see if they have learned to be good citizens.
You passed.
Oh, you left out all. No, you don't leave yet. No, there's other questions. You've done amendment number. You didn't tell us what amendment number 2 said. I can give you a hint.
Amendment 2.
Oh, we did 2. We did 2, bearing arms. We did 3.
2 came before 3, and 3 came before
Yes.
4. See how smart
What is
I am?
amendment? Can you sum up amendment number 4 for people?
Do I get a hint?
Yes. Secure.
Oh, yeah, that's free therapy from the government when you're over 65.
Secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects.
That
I think
means you get to hold on to your own stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And if somebody else wants your stuff, they have to ask. And if they're from the government, they can't just come in and get it, even if they think they have a good reason.
No, see, I could think I'm a good teacher because you're doing so well, but I think you had this wisdom before you came. Now, what about cruel and unusual punishments, which is very, very important? We haven't looked into that yet. Do you know what the government is doing to some people in prison? I know this might upset you, but you need to be an informed American citizen.
Okay.
Exactly. But they're putting people on a board. Just tying them on a board. Imagine if can I just show people what this is like? Can I just hold your hands down? Just tie your hands down to your side, and we put you on a board, and then we dunk you head first into water until you can hardly breathe. You can't breathe at all.
That sounds like it's against the Bill of Rights.
Exactly. You got it. You're so good. But we're doing this.
That was a close one.
We're doing this to people we've captured in
Well,
war.
I don't understand that. If it's against the Bill of Rights, why people are doing it. Oh, wait a minute. maybe the government lost the Bill of Rights
Yes.
and they can't remember what it says because they lost their only copy.
Yes, but you, thankfully, are explaining.
I have a brilliant idea.
Yes.
What if everybody who has the Bill of Rights at home sends it to the government because maybe they lost their copy, and then when they get all, then they'll remember what all the rules are, and they'll turn themselves around and do the hokey pokey, and everything will be happy.
Yes, that's what we hope. We hope that's
Okay, I'll
happening.
go get my copy.
God is helping us all make a better country, and we're moving on. We're almost finished for the first 10 amendments. The enumeration, this is amendment number 9, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. In other words, we the people have all the rights that are not clearly given to the government in our Constitution. We the people meaning?
Like which ones? I mean, if I'm going to become an American citizen, it sounds like I'm going to have an awful lot of rights, which would be really convenient. I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to learn about the Bill of Rights anyway is it tells some things in it that you're actually allowed to do. And when I walk around America and all the streets, it's filled with signs telling me what you can't do. Like you can't park here or you got to stop over there. But very rarely do they say anything like, enjoy this space.
Yes, and you have a right to say that because of the Bill of Rights. You can just tell the American people, and you can even create spaces.
You know, I think it would be a good idea if the government put up signs letting people know what they actually could do. Like, free speech zone.
No, free speech for the whole country, Primrose.
Oh, like, free speech county.
No, free speech country, our whole United States of
free
America.
speech country.
From Hawaii to Maine.
Like, did you exercise your freedom of speech today?
That's very wonderful. That's why many people are getting together to protest sending more troops to Iraq. They want troops to be taken home. And that
Well, everybody wants to go home.
and we're free to do that. In some countries, they're not free to do this. You couldn't do this in China.
You couldn't do what?
You couldn't get together and say, we want that war to end. People can't do that.
Well, why not?
Because government will come and take them and put them in jail.
Oh.
And they can't do that here. Because you have remember the thing you most like? Freedom to assemble.
Oh.
Yes.
I do like to assemble.
And the last amendment, which is very close to the 9th Amendment, is that if we haven't given the power to the government,
Yes.
nor prohibited, but made the states tell the states you can't have this power, then all the other powers belong to Massachusetts, the state you're living in now, or to the people, not to the central government. Because we were very afraid.
That means I've got all the other rights that nobody's gotten yet, right?
Yes, you've got them.
So if I went to the human rights warehouse and got a cart and went up and down the aisles getting as many human rights as I could and piling them in my cart, it'd be totally legal.
Yes.
That's a good sale.
Yes, you have-
And they're totally free.
The Bill of Rights are totally free.
I'm going to
just by
go
being in this country.
shopping. Excuse me.
Oh, we'll miss you, Primrose. So those are the 10 amendments, the first 10 amendments to our Constitution. As you all might know, I'm just going to read you the very preamble, or at least some of it, to the heart of the preamble to the Bill of Rights is, in order to prevent misconstruction or abuse of its powers. In other words, the Bill of Rights was there to make sure that any president wouldn't act like King George and really arbitrarily do whatever he wants to do. So I think we've come. Dot, you look like you've got.
Okay. Amendment 1.
You're quizzing me again?
Yes.
Again? I think we should ask. I'll do Amendment 1, but I think we should. We have such a brilliant audience here. I think we should see if they have any things to ask either you or I. But I can tell you Amendment 1 quickly if you want, or unless you want to just go to the audience immediately.
Wow.
Don't you like the audience?
Yeah, they're so clever looking.
So shall we ask them if they?
Okay. Amendment 1, go.
No, not to quiz them. If they have any questions about the Bill of Rights.
Amendment 1, questions.
Oh, there you go. Does anyone have any questions about Amendment number 1 of the Bill of Rights? Good, Doc.
Amendment 1 was the right to assemble.
Oh, I I love that. I love
Are there any
assembling.
restrictions on assembly regarding size,
Wow,
permitting,
that's a really good question.
timing, places, or can you just
yeah.
assemble wherever you want, whenever you want, for as long as you want?
That's
Yes.
such a cool question.
You want to repeat that question? Because
Yeah, sure. He said, are there any restrictions on assembly? Like, do you need a permit, or can you assemble anywhere you want? Can you assemble with yourself or like a whole crowd? Is it limitless? Like rock concerts and stuff.
You can have rock concerts, but as with all of these rights, the heart of the Constitution is for the general welfare of all of the people of the United States.
What does it have to do with assembling?
So that if you're for example, you wouldn't want people having parties around your house at 3 o'clock in the morning, would you?
Well, I mean, if it was good music.
Maybe you would.
I do like to get down.
Or if they were marching around your house so much that you couldn't go outside when you wanted to because they were in the way.
Oh, I like to go outside.
Yes, so there.
But that doesn't answer the question. The
Yes, it
question
does.
is, it does?
That means that there are some things we can't do, even if we have to assemble in lawful ways. And so if you want to have a parade, like you want to invite all of your friends.
Oh, I love parades.
Yes, all of your friends to march down Massachusetts Avenue.
Wow, that'd be cool.
Yes, but you'd have to get a permit to do that because a lot of cars want to come too, you understand?
Oh,
there's a problem.
wait a minute.
Yes.
It seems like there's common sense seems to be an issue in relation to freedom of assembly. That's either good news or bad news, depending on your personal morality.
So you understand. Dot, you're really getting it very well. This is a wonderful question from our audience. So we understand that these rights need to be balanced in order to make sure that they're helpful to to all of us who are living here.
Okay. That was a good question.
Yes, we could. Should we ask? Do you want to hear any other questions?
Of course.
Oh, good. Well, why don't you ask them?
Does anyone have any questions? Oh, yes.
Should I be afraid of George Bush listening to my conversations, or does my Fourth Amendment protect it?
Wait a minute. Amendment 4, the
Well,
right
first,
of
we
people.
repeat his question
I
first.
will. The right. He wanted to know if he should be afraid of George Bush listening to his conversations. And Amendment 4 clearly says the right of people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects, but it doesn't say telephones.
No, but this was written over 200 years ago,
So.
and so the courts interpret what this means for modern
Oh,
times.
because there weren't any telephones.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. They should really have a technology clause in the Bill of Rights so they can keep it updated.
They really do, actually.
Which one?
I mean, it's not it's just that in the United States history, we've interpreted what these words mean for us in our technological age.
Okay, so the answer to the question is?
The answer to the question is the government needs a warrant, a good reason to think that that man who asked that question might be doing something bad to you.
Again?
Well, I just want to make it personal. Or maybe do something bad to your friends.
Should I go sneak around him and find out?
You could do that.
Do I need a warrant?
You need a warrant if you want to listen to his telephone conversations.
But what if I just want to peer in his windows?
No, you need a warrant for that.
What if I want to slowly walk by the house and wait for him to come out?
That you could do because it's.
What if I want to go make friends with the across the street neighbor and slowly sort of peer across the street when he's not looking?
You could do all of those things.
What if I want to get in a plane and fly by and use one of those cameras where you can see 4-point font on their table?
No, because then you're looking inside his house.
What if I want to take mind reading and read his mind?
No. His mind belongs to him. That would be.
Is that in the Constitution?
Yes.
Where?
It says, if I can find it, it says that you're secure in your persons. That means no one can come.
That includes your.
How would you like it if we started looking in your ears to see if they're dirty? No offense, right? We can't do that.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
The answer is. The answer appears to be no.
Unless they have a good reason.
Unless you're really suspicious.
Yes, maybe he's a driver and he drives around and maybe he brings drugs from one neighborhood to another. And then the government can go to the court and say,
Wait a minute. You're planting suspicious thoughts in my mind about that man that I don't even know.
Yes.
Is that against the rules?
Not unless I say I know it for sure. If I just say it.
Well, yeah, but if you start talking about somebody and say, well, you know, that person over there, they might have burned down a building, but I'm not sure. Then the other person starts thinking, oh my gosh, they burned down a building? The power of suggestion is
exactly.
quite vast.
Well, that's that's the limitation in free speech. We can't say that man who was wise enough to ask that question has burnt down a building.
But wait a minute, power of suggestion is not included in freedom of speech?
We can say, we have to be careful. There's laws called libel laws, where if someone says that, I don't want to use you again, so I'll use that person. If someone says,
I'll get a little reprimand.
yes, if someone says that he is really stealing lunch money from children.
That's awful.
Exactly.
Well, why would you want to do that?
And he would say he's not guilty, right? But if I
he pleaded the fifth.
Wait
Wait a minute, what's the fifth?
The Fifth Amendment means, I don't think we got to this part of the Fifth Amendment, that you can't be a witness against yourself.
You just invoked an amendment we didn't even talk about.
Yes, he's very smart. The Fifth Amendment.
I'm humbled.
You know why you can't be a witness? Because
I know why you can't be a witness against yourself, because you only have eyes in your own head, and if you can't see the back of your head, you can't know what you're really doing. I mean, people can only know themselves part way, don't you think?
Yes, but you might know part
You
way.
need really intense self-awareness to know what you're doing all the time, and it takes others to show you who you really are and what you've really been doing in your life in context.
What if you know you've done something bad? Like, did you steal that dress?
No.
Where'd you get it?
It was a gift.
See? Now, I can't, according to the Fifth Amendment, torture you.
Well, good.
Or even make you go on trial and say, you've got to get into the witness stand, and I've got to say, Dot, did you steal that dress?
Nope.
You don't have to do that. You don't even have to go on the witness stand because of the Fifth Amendment.
Wait a minute. How are you supposed to find out if somebody did something or not if you don't ask them?
You could, but we really don't want people to, you know why we don't want people to testify against themselves?
Why?
Because people could do things like
Hey.
twist, right? We could do that. We could twist your arm.
You're a dangerous person. You
and
know
I
that?
could say, did you steal that dress?
Nope.
And I could keep making it harder and
No, I
harder.
really didn't. I really didn't. Okay, I might have.
Yeah, exactly. You got it again. You understand. So that's why we have the Fifth Amendment. But the government wanted.
Wait a minute. This means that if you want to find out if somebody did something, you don't ask them directly, you ask their friends.
Yes. You got it.
And people's friends always tell the truth about their other friends.
Well, it might not only be friends. It could be just anybody who saw, perhaps, if you stole that dress, if they saw it. I know. I'm only using that as an example, Doc.
Well, let's see if there's any other questions.
Okay. Yes, we still have a good 5 minutes if there's anyone who has other questions. Yes.
Yes.
So what if you find that the government has violated one of the amendments? Is there anything you can do about it?
Oh, what do you do if the government violated your amendments? That's quite personal.
Violated your rights.
I feel so personal.
Yes. What if the government has come into your house and looked at your papers and looked at and listened to your telephone?
Then what if they pet my cat?
Pet your cat?
Yeah.
You don't even like them to pet your cat?
Well, I guess they could do that.
Oh, they could do that. And so the question is, what can we do if the government does that?
Well, that's a good question.
Well, one thing you can do is impeach the president. In other words,
Impeach the president.
Yes, in other words, when.
That means you take a photo of the president in rose-colored lights so he looks better.
That's a very lovely way of what they are trying to do. They want to make the president look good, but what if he's really bad? What if he goes into your house like Richard Nixon, President Nixon, had people
gets around, I heard.
go into people's houses and steal their therapy records so they find out what you've said to your therapist? Exactly. So then, therefore, the House of Representatives wanted to impeach President Nixon, which means get him out of office. And so if we think, this is a great question from our audience.
Take him out to pasture.
Yes, if we think our president is doing things that are against the law, because this is the law of the land, our representatives can, in the House of Representatives, can say he is a criminal and he loses his job and we don't have him as president anymore.
Well, then who's president?
Well, unless we impeach also the vice president who's been doing the same thing in this country, some people say, Dick
Yeah.
Cheney. After President Bush and Vice President Cheney, guess who's going to be president next?
Oh,
If Cheney and Bush are impeached, we will have our first woman president, Dot.
really?
Yes.
Do I get to run? Or do we already know who it is?
We know who it is. Her name
Oh,
is Nancy. She has 5 children.
How does she have time to be the president?
Well,
That's
she
a big
said-
job, having 5
yes,
children.
she said it was the best training to be a member of Congress, and probably would be a very good training to be
Oh, I
president.
can understand that.
Yes. Well, no, we still have a little time for if there's anyone else who has any. Yes, 3 minutes. Yes, Dot, we want to ask more questions? Or do you have
No, I
more?
was just so excited about the possibility of a first woman president. I mean, if you have 5 kids, you've really been around the block and you know exactly what needs to be done in order to create a just and civil society.
Yes.
Well, good. I'm relieved.
So if we
At least somebody knows how to
So
create a
if
just
we-
and civil society.
If the House of Representatives impeaches President Bush and Vice President Cheney for violating the law,
Yeah.
not honoring the Bill of Rights, this is the law of the land. This would be like if someone came in and stole your car or your hat or put you in jail. That's against the law.
Wait, is impeaching the only thing you can do? There's only one option? That seems like, pulling out the big stakes. Aren't there little intermediary
That's a
steps
very
you
good
could take
question.
on the way to
That's a
impeachment?
very good question. I am not aware. I think you can sue the government also.
That's really like a 0 to 60 policy,
Yes.
isn't it?
No, I mean, sometimes when people are put in jail, for example, and they were put in jail wrongly, when they are eventually let out of jail because they find sometimes with DNA evidence, they might accuse someone of, for example, raping someone, and then they would have that microscope, and you would discover it couldn't have been the person that was accused and in jail.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And that person, when he gets out of jail, can sue the government for wrongly putting him in jail.
Well,
And
that's a good idea.
Yes, and maybe get some money for that.
Oh, that'd be very helpful.
Exactly. So you're beginning to understand how our rights as a people can stop our government from doing things that are unlawful.
Our rights as a people can stop our government from doing things that are unlawful?
Yes.
Well, who's going to stop each other from doing things that are unlawful?
Well, if you or I are doing something unlawful, the police, which is part
And how do we stop ourselves from doing things that are unlawful?
well, you better, or else you better. Aren't you? You have a conscience, don't you, Dot?
Sure, I have 5.
You have 5 consciences.
Sure. I have one for every day of the week, Monday through Friday, and on Saturday and Sunday I rest.
I understand. Is there anything unlawful you wanted to do with all these consciences going around?
This week?
Yes.
Was there anything unlawful I wanted to do this? Wow, the daydreaming. Whoa. Wait a minute. If I tell you I wanted to do something unlawful, isn't there something in there that says that you could get me in trouble if I claim that I wanted to do something unlawful?
If it was
You're
just-
not going to entrap me.
Oh, good.
I'm smarter than that.
Well, I'd like to thank both Dot and Primrose. Oh, of course, yes? Wow. Dot and Primrose's hat and the people that were with them. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. I hope we have a much better understanding of the Bill of Rights. Certainly Dot and Primrose helped me, and I hope they helped you as much as they helped me. Oh, thank you, Dot. Oh, my goodness.